Blood smeared the wall and floor, left behind by the killer's frantic attempt to flee. But none of it belonged to him. The DNA found on the murder weapon and inside the victim's home did not match his own. Even the hairs clutched in her lifeless hands were not his. Both prosecutors and defense counsel agreed that the man imprisoned for over 2 decades for Felicia Gale's 1998 stabbing death was likely innocent, as stated in a motion filed by prosecutors to vacate his death sentence. Yet, Marcellus Williams was still scheduled for execution on September 24, 2024, at 6 p.m. The potentially exonerating DNA evidence had been brought to light 7 years ago, but it wasn't until August 28th that a Missouri judge finally heard it in a last-ditch effort by Williams's lawyers to save him from his impending execution next month. After 2 hours of impassioned arguments from both sides, the judge requested final filings by September 4th before making a decision, according to the St. Louis County Prosecuting Attorney's Office. Felicia Gale, a talented reporter for the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, had been mercilessly killed in her own home in a gated community in University City, Missouri, on August 11, 1998. Her husband, Dr. Daniel Pekas, discovered her body with a knife lodged in her neck and wearing only a purple shirt, an image that would haunt him for years to come. It was determined that Gale had suffered at least 43 stab wounds throughout her body, 16 of which proved fatal. The murderer took off with her belongings, including her purse and laptop, but left behind her precious wedding ring and jewelry. It was later revealed that one of Gale's own kitchen knives had been used in the attack. During their investigation, police found bloody shoe prints near the knife sheath and on the rug near her body. There were also bloody fingerprints on the wall and hairs collected from her hands, t-shirt, and the floor. 2 eyewitnesses recalled seeing a dark-colored minivan driven by a white man in the area that morning. Williams is black. Despite media attention and public outcry, little progress was made in the investigation until 2 informants came forward with information, both naming Marcellus Williams as the perpetrator. At the time, Williams was struggling with drug addiction and had recently been arrested for robbing a donut shop on August 31, 1998. His girlfriend at the time, as well as a fellow inmate, provided conflicting statements to investigators, which were used to arrest Williams in 1999 and put him on trial 2 years later. In 2001, a jury of 11 white people and 1 black person found Williams guilty of first-degree murder, first-degree burglary, armed criminal action, and robbery. It was later discovered that 6 qualified black jurors were unfairly removed from the pool using peremptory challenges, according to the Innocence Project. As I read through the documents, a chill swept over me. The dark history of the St. Louis County Prosecuting Attorney's Office was no secret. They had a long record of excluding black jurors, violating the constitutional rights of countless individuals like Williams. But despite all this, he still faced execution. Only a last-minute stay by Governor Greitens spared him from his fate. But even then, justice seemed to evade Williams as Governor Parson dissolved the board investigating his case. And now, with a new execution date set, it seemed that time was running out for Williams. As hope dwindled, a shocking truth surfaced. The knife used in the crime had fingerprints of the very prosecutors seeking conviction. In an unprecedented compromise, Williams was spared from death row with an Alford plea, while the state maintained their conviction. But even in this apparent victory, true justice remained elusive for Williams. On that decisive day, Attorney General Andrew Bailey made his move by filing a writ application, effectively quashing any possibility of parole for Williams, and setting up an evidentiary hearing on August 28th. His resolute words echoed, "The rule of law must always be fought for and upheld without exception." As the hearing began, Prosecuting Attorney Bell presented damning evidence: mishandled murder weapon, destroyed fingerprints, and racially biased jury selection, all glaring mistakes that weakened the case against Williams. according to a statement released by the Innocence Project. Reflecting on the two opposing sides, Bushnell from the Innocence Project pondered on one, driven by justice, and the other consumed by winning at all costs.